Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Insight with Tayo. I'm your host, Tayo Aina. And today I have a special guest in the house to share insights on, guess what? I'm going to let you know. So today I have a lady who has 6 years experience in the market. When I mean the market, I mean the stock market.
Yes.
She's been through various volatility, multiple ones in different times. Also, she teaches stock classes in case any of you want to, get engaged and understand the stock market in a very big way.
Yes.
She's a professional. She's certified in several certifications, and also she's doing her MBA at the Kellogg.
I'm actually done with my MBA at Kellogg. I'm done. Okay, go ahead. I'm done. Oh, as at this month, I was done. Okay.
Well, she already let it out. So join me today as a welcome to Insightwithtayo, Victoria.
Thank you.
Victoria,
Yes.
I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I enjoy talking about the market. I enjoy talking about money. I enjoy talking about stocks. So this is a very, very passionate topic for me. So I'm very happy about this.
That's why you came here today to break it down.
Yes.
So I have different questions from different people that I told about this particular topic, and they treated me to ask Nigerians have this word right now, and they say when you're big, they call them odogu.
ODG. Hey!
So let's start. How did you get into investing in the stock market?
Yes. So the way I got in was kind of by accident in a way, because I was watching a YouTube video in 2019, and then there was an advertisement on the video about options trading. And I was like, what is options trading? I just ignored it. And then whenever I kept watching YouTube videos, the ad would keep coming up about options trading. And I'm like, okay, now my curiosity, I'm a Taurus, by the way, we're very inquisitive people. My curiosity was like, okay, let's find out what this options trading is. So I started doing a lot of research, and I realized that options trading was tied in with the stock market. And then I started doing research about like stocks. I started researching the S&P. I started researching hotels, airlines. I started watching a ton. That was my life. And me, when I'm locked into something, that's all I do. So I started I was locked in. In 2019, and then I started putting money in, just playing with little amounts of money to understand what this options thing was. By the way, I knew nothing about it at the time. And 2019 was the worst time to enter the stock market as a beginner, because obviously 2020, because of COVID and everything. So long and short, that's how I got in.
So, in as much as you started in that note, was there someone, in as much as you were looking at these videos, was there someone you actually used to talk to that would help you out, brushing you through some mistakes you made at that time?
There was, however, what I would say is that it's very important to have those kind of conversations with intent. When I was having the conversations with the person, it was more like, oh, this is what I'm doing. And then he would be like, oh, okay, that makes sense, or that doesn't make sense, versus giving me actual advice on the things that were going on in the market. I didn't have that resource at that time in the beginning. And that's where, we mentioned with my stock class, me taking those mistakes from the beginning, I teach my students that I'm that resource to them. So it's with intent, you know what I'm saying? If they want to enter a stock or whatever, I tell them to ask me questions. But to answer your question, I had someone, but I didn't really have someone because they weren't really helping intentionally. You see what I'm saying?
So currently right now, there's a lot of volatility in the market.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So let's hear from the horse's mouth, how people are panicking.
Yes.
People are like, oh, I think I need to hold down.
Right.
When should I enter?
Right.
What's your take on the particular market right now?
Yeah, no, it's a very phenomenal question, and I would circle back to 2020 during COVID. The last time something that bad happened, as COVID was 2007 during the housing market crash when the stock market just went to shit, to poop. And if there's anything, the stock market is cyclical. Like your typical investor believes the market just goes up, 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 up. And I don't blame anyone. Even I was the same way. I had the same thinking. Like, oh, you just invest long term up, 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 which is okay, you know, if you're that kind of investor. However, nothing does this. Like the stock market is kind of like a stair. It will, like I call it stair up, elevator down. It's just how it is. It's just how the market is. It will go up, come back down, and then go up again, right? So in terms of volatility like this, we're seeing volatility because of the current presidency. Today, oh, there's tariff. Tomorrow, tariff is taken out. Next tomorrow, oh, we're fighting with China. Upper tomorrow, fuel prices are up. Next tomorrow, bonds are up. Kinicon, bonds are down. It's just a lot going on. Even tomorrow being Monday, I really don't know what's going to happen with the market, right? Because it's like we don't know. So in terms of volatility, I always tell people that you want to be cash positive. If you have money in the market, this is not, again, I'm not a financial advisor. Let me put that out there. Somebody should lose money. No, Victoria said this. I'm not a financial advisor. However, what I've done, my own strategy is that if you are in a time of volatility, now is not the time to sell. First of all, the market has shown us indicators a long time ago that this was going to happen. But it's people like me, people that actually like know how to read the stock charts, that know that this is coming. And that's what I teach people in my classes, right? Like you need to be able to predict when market is actually going to come back down. So a long time ago, I took my money out of the stock market, but I know that not everybody does that. Not everybody wants to sell. Not everybody wants to hold on to cash. And I understand. So if you're that kind of person, the best thing to do is that instead of panicking and selling, now is not even the time to be buying because I feel like the market still has ways to go. You just want to be averaging down gradually. So let's say you have like 5,000 in the market and you have like 2,000 sitting somewhere. You don't want to pour your 2,000 inside the market again. Now you want to be buying it gradually, gradually because the market will still go back up. It's just how it is. Like I said, it's very cyclical. So the cycle is gonna, this time next year, everybody will be smiling out. Everybody will forget the volatility right now.
So right now, like as you rightfully said, like there's so many reasons why the market goes down.
Yeah.
And a lot of people watch the news, like the news. I spoke about the presidency. It can come up with different policies that would, that would just make the market go up, go down. So, but this is like you're in the dark. You don't know what's going to happen. So, how do an individual spot that kind of occurrence? Is it when you see the market is too up and if it's going to go down? How can we spot that kind of
that something is coming?
Yes.
So, not to get too technical, when I said the market tells you that it's going to come down, basically it's something called a resistance. The market has hit that point of resistance. Right now, S&P SPY was like at all-time highs before everything came down. And when it got to the all-time highs, it kept hitting that resistance multiple times. That was a red flag for me, at least. For the trained eye, that was a red flag. For a lot of people thought, oh, it's just going to keep going up. No, it really wasn't. So that was number one indicator for me. Number two, Donald Trump became president. If there's anything we know about Trump's presidency, yes, the stock market loves Trump because when Trump was president a few years ago, 4 years ago, the market was continuously green. But we also saw a lot of downturns in the market at that time because of volatility, right? So Trump being president alone was another red flag because any second, like he's so volatile, like there's just news today, like there's just so many things, right? So that was the second indicator for me. That's why I was very, very cautiously optimistic, knowing that with this kind of presidency, there was just going to be so many changes, so many things that wouldn't favor consumers. I mean, he said it during his campaign. Like a lot of the policies that he had in place, like we already knew, make America great again. We need to make America richer. We need to do this. We need to do that. When we're doing that, when we wanted to start taxing, remove capital gains tax. Okay, when you're doing that, who is going to be paying for the deficit? It's going to be us. If you're doing tariffs, tariffs are too low. We need to make America more money. It's the consumers that are going to be paying. So that means consumer sentiment is going to be at the all-time low. Retail sentiment is going to be at the all-time low. Inflation fears are going to go up. When that happens, what happens to the stock market? It tanks because people want to keep money. Everybody starts selling and everybody wants to keep their capital. So it's a very cyclical. Like you kind of have to, again, is to the trained eye, but you have to like keep track of the news and understand how this fits into this and fits into this and fits into this, right? Yeah.
That's actually very, very accurate because like this, what you just said right now, you hit the nail in the head. A lot of people also have that that thought. Okay, how do I spot these things? And as
Yeah,
you said,
yeah,
like having that kind of president, you should be able to already have a foresight when he was on
yeah,
his
yeah,
campaign
yeah, yeah,
that he wants to touch on different sectors,
yeah, yeah.
and in touching on these different sectors is definitely going to affect the
The
market. So
market, absolutely,
those
absolutely.
are the eyes that nobody people don't
Yeah,
know.
people don't
So
know.
it takes a professional to be able
Right,
to understand that
right.
this is expected.
And that's why I'm here. I love sharing this kind of knowledge with people. I love like having these conversations and just opening people's eyes. Just it's kind of like you have to change your mindset. You have to have that money. You have to follow the money. That's what I call it. Follow the money. Like, yeah, Donald Trump being president is like annoying for a lot of us. But coming from a financial perspective, coming from a market perspective, I really don't care who is president. I'm just gonna follow the money, like just the money perspective. Right? I'm just gonna follow the money and whatever he says. Oh, China tariff, shoot, market is gonna go down. Oh, we've removed the tariff, market is gonna go up. So I just follow the money in that aspect, right?
So I'm sure like before you were able to read the market or read the charts,
Yeah.
there are some up and downs that you encounter.
Oh
So
Lord.
like what are the things you learned and right now you don't do those things anymore? The
Anymore.
mistakes
Yeah,
you made,
yeah, yeah,
can you
yeah.
like please share and how costly that was for you?
Absolutely. I always call it tuition. I tell people, and in my classes, I'll tell my students, I say, I'm first of all, I'm happy that they're taking the leap, and having that conversation with me about the market. But then I always tell them, but then I always, I said I'm happy that they're taking that leap with me in the stock market, right? But I always tell them that you don't want to pay tuition. You don't want to make the same mistakes I did in the beginning when I didn't have guidance, right? You don't want to make those mistakes. So, one of the main mistakes I made was that I made money in the beginning, and I tell people too, you don't want to make money in the beginning. That's like it's actually a curse, in my opinion, because if you make money, you forever chase that high. If you make money, like if you just start trading and maybe there's like a meme stock, doing like the whole GameStop, a lot of traders made money during the GameStop saga. You don't want that because it doesn't happen all the time. So when you make that money, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I can continue to make money. No, because you actually lose all that money because you don't know how to manage it. You don't have the financial knowledge for it, right? So with that being said, one of the few mistakes that I made was that I started with options trading without fully understanding what options trading was, right? And with options trading, it has like an expiration versus stocks that doesn't have an expiration. So I'll be putting money inside. I wasn't reading the charts. I didn't know what was going on. And this was in 2019, before 2020, when the market was telling us that everything was coming down. But again, like I explained earlier, your average investor thinks things are going up. So imagine me buying things thinking it will go up, but the market is coming down. So of course I lost a shit ton of money in that whole in the beginning, right? So that was mistake number one, options trading. I don't do that anymore. I mean, I'll options trade now, here and there. Mistake number two was also day trading. I used to day trade a lot. But the problem with day trading is that if you make money, you probably will lose it again in the
Hmm.
future. Because with day trading, you have this like quick mindset, right? You're not holding things long enough. You're trying to like make that quick buck. So in the process of you making that quick buck, you actually end up starting at ground zero. So those are like the two main mistakes I made. Now I'm more of a patient trader. Now I trade stocks. So I don't hold things like long term. I have my 401k for that. But for my own personal account, I hold things for like maybe 1 week, 2 weeks. But I buy in volume. Again, I've been able to build myself up over time to have the capital to buy volume. But you can start from somewhere. Like I started from somewhere. So I buy with volume. And then let's say I'm saying that a stock will go up. I look at my charts. Oh, okay, this is a prime position to buy. I buy stocks. And then when it gets to the level where I think it will come down, I sell and I wait, right? So that's what I do. And I trade just stocks. 99%. The other 1% is like, maybe if I say an option, I'm like, this is delicious. I can't ignore this. Then I'll enter, right? But it's not a lot of times.
So there's always this fear, even for beginners and starters. You said earlier that when you start and you make a ton of money,
Yeah.
you be like, wow, what's going on here? Oh, this is marvelous. You're excited about it.
Yeah.
So what would you, for beginners that are trying to go into investing in the stock market or doing options trading, what do you think they should start with?
Yeah, so I always tell people to start with paper trading, which is fake money, is simulated money. Weibo has a good paper trading platform. And what you essentially do is that you can tell it to put 10,000 in the account or 1,000 or $100, whatever it is. And you can trade stocks and options with that paper trading account and can just use that to practice. You don't have to use your money. Like the worst, especially if you don't have money, the worst thing to put your money in is the stock market, because you forever try to chase that money back and
Back.
you're not going to make it back. It's just human nature. Like humans are, we are greedy by
Yeah.
nature. Period. It takes like a certain kind of mentality to not have that greed, and it takes a long time in the market to understand like the cycles of the market and not have greed. But by nature, human beings are greedy. So I just tell my students, start with paper trading for a period of time. Also, take few stocks. You don't have to trade 20 stocks, 30 stocks. No, take like maybe 2 or 3 stocks and understand those stocks very, very, very well, and then paper trade. Also, if you want to be long term, if you're like, oh, I don't even have time for this, like, short term trading, I want to be long term, that's okay. If your stock of choice is like Nvidia by chance, for example, take the Nvidia stock, understand Nvidia's chart, and then just buy gradually. Like, don't put all your money in Nvidia. Buy gradually, because low can always go lower, right? Like, and just wait for that ride as a long-term investor. So that's what I tell people.
That's pretty much fascinating.
Yeah.
A lot of people need to learn because I know like a lot of people, like there are a lot of books out there too that you just see like how to
Yeah.
study this, but
Yes.
people don't really read these books.
No, because it's very overwhelming. Even I didn't read it. Like, I started reading this book from this financial guru guy, and I think I closed the book after like page 30, because it was just it's overwhelming for a beginner. I mean, these things take time. Like, it takes time to master something. Especially something as daunting. Stock market is a lot. Even I know it. Even me that I've been trading for a long time. So I'm just like, ugh, this stupid market. But it's very, like, the books are daunting. It's just best to learn. Like, again, take my class if you want more. But after taking the class, it's like you learn by doing. That's why I tell people that's how you learn, with fake money, not your own money.
Yeah, because like honestly speaking, like even me, I remember when I started option trading some time back. I was just doing this like I was doing it in a way that was very painful. I was
Right.
just losing money.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the best way to start is to lose money.
Yes, that's the best way, honestly. That's what I say. That's why I'm like, you don't want to make money in the beginning. You don't want to lose a lot either, but you don't want to make money in the beginning because you're going to be stuck in that high. Yes, losing money, it does something to you because it kind of resets your brain. It makes you more patient, right? At the end of the day, you want to lose no money. That's the ideal. You want to learn, you want to take your time to learn, understand the market, so that I mean, it's not possible to lose no money, but you want to keep your losses at a minimum. But if you're a beginner and you're like, oh, I'm just buying, 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 chances that you lose a lot of money is very, 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 very high. And you don't want that, right? So, yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you this last question
Right.
because I know that we have we've been talking about this a lot about the stock market and everything. So basically, like when it comes to buying the dip,
Ugh.
like it's because I remember one time a friend of mine was telling me that I think it was like 3 4 weeks ago that right now it's time to buy, and
Ugh.
suddenly it went back down.
Of
Boom, boom,
course.
boom.
Ugh. I that word gives me the ache, but continue.
So when you buy the dip, it goes back down. You buy another dip. People always say buy the dip. So when do we know it has gotten to that level whereby we are satisfied that okay, now this is the last set of the dip we can go in?
First of all, if anybody tells you to buy the dip, that's a disgusting red flag. It means you do not know what you're talking about. Because a trader who has been in the market for a long time would never tell you to buy the dip. Because why? Like you introduced in the beginning, you said, I've been through a lot of volatile markets. If there's anything we know about volatility, no, like if there continues to be bad news, the market will keep going down. Period. That's it. You know what I'm trying to keep going down. It's just how it works. It's just what it is. So when someone said, oh, buy the dip, except if like there's no news in the market and it's like market just came down because maybe it was retesting some previous levels or the stock is just doing what it's supposed to do, I may understand. But not in these current times. We're not at the bottom. And that's a fact. Because Donald Trump can come tomorrow and say blah blah blah. It's gonna keep dipping, right? So don't listen to anyone that says buy the dip. And that's why I said in the beginning, I was saying that if you have some capital, just like if you want to invest long term, just gradually buy. Like if you don't want to put all your money in the dip, you want to put like 10% right now. So if it goes lower, another 10%. If it goes lower, another 10%, right? Versus just putting all the money because you're at the dip, because you'll be bag holding. And bag holding means that you bought something high, now you're stuck with losses, right? So in my humble opinion, when I was studying the charts the other day, right now SPY is trading at like 460, I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But when I was studying the chart, I see some gaps in the chart. And usually stocks always fill their gaps, right? It's just like a technical analysis thing. I'm not going to get too technical, but a lot of stocks, I'm not going to get too technical. Stocks, a lot of volume always fill their gaps, right? It might not fill it this month, next month. It might be next year, who knows? But it's just good to know where the gaps are in the chart. Right now, the lowest gap on SPY, there's one at 428 and there's one around like 370. So that means there's a potential that that stock will go down to 428 and 370 eventually. That's a lot. That's a long way from here. And I remember in 2020, 2022, I was having a conversation with one of my good friends, and SPY was trading at like 480 by then. And I told my friend, I said, with the way the market is going, I think SPY is going to come to 360 because there was a gap at 360, and it did in the summer. You can look at the charts. It went down to like 300 and something dollars, and it filled those gaps. So you have to know where the gaps are, because if the market is coming down, it's not going to be like, oh my God, what's going on? A lot of times it's just filling the gaps. So it's not the same buy the dip, buy the dip. Imagine you buy the dip at 480, or potentially going down to under $400. Like, how long are you going to be holding your stock? You know what I'm trying to say? So when someone says buy the dip, they really don't know what they're talking about. So that's why I always, like I was saying, just gradually buy. Gradually, that's the best way to do it. If you have a 401k, now is the time to actually start putting money. If you weren't putting money in your 401k before, now it's time to start putting money in your 401k, and make sure it's putting money, because the 401ks would invest in like international markets. Like, why am I investing in international market? So just make sure it's investing in actual US market, and when you're getting paid bi-weekly, it's just going to keep averaging down for you. So even if it's going down, it's averaging down, it's just going to keep adding that money for you. So yeah, that's like, honestly, $1 million tip right there.
Well, I'm sure everyone has been educated on different ways at which to invest. On today, as I introduced earlier, her name is Victoria. She is very, very good at what she does. And if you want to learn more about a masterclass and how she, brings herself, you can follow her
on Instagram.
Her name is on Instagram as well again. Victoria.alao.
I'm excited, but I will slap you. What if my name is what? I'm trying to act brand new for the camera. Boy, don't do this.
But yeah, Victoria, I really appreciate you for coming. And I'm sure we're definitely going to talk after. Yeah. So you can give me some masterclass.
I know you have to pay though. Kidding. But thank you so much.
I remain your host, Tayo Aina. Thank you very much for watching, and till I come your way again, have an amazing day and stay blessed. Bye.
Bye.